everyone. Thank y'all for coming and looking at our live. Y'all have to forgive me. I'm always nervous, so I'm gonna get past that. But before we get started, I just want to take the time to tell everyone out there that's looking, like, just thank y'all for coming on and supporting us. Even just like doing simple things like sharing our videos, like to get the word out there what we're trying to do. Because it's not about us. We're trying to affect different women, or just give a positive aspect in someone's life. Sometimes when God calls you to do certain things, like certain things will come up against you, and sometimes you feel like you shouldn't be doing this, or you're making the wrong move. But just the fact that you all are watching, and you all inbox and tell us how what we're doing has helped you and benefited you. Like, just thank y'all for all of that. And I guess I'll go ahead and get into today's topic. Today's topic is going to be domestic violence, and dealing with it, and also emotional abuse. This is a subject that I'm very passionate about because of the simple fact that I recently just got out of an abusive relationship. So this is something that is very much overlooked in our community, and it's something that we need to address it, and we need to talk about it, because a lot of women, they don't have people that they can go to, or someone that they can necessarily trust. Some people that are going through it, and nobody knows. They're battling with this thing by themselves, and they feel like they're in it by themselves, and they can't escape this. But there is help out there. You are not alone in this. And also, it's just important for you to you know.
She's nervous, so I'll take over for her and she'll get it back in a minute. But yes, domestic violence is very important. It impacts everyone in just about every race, economic status, anything you can name. Somebody's dealing with some form of domestic violence, or emotional abuse, physical abuse. And it's important that we bring this topic to light and shed light on this topic, because people are battling with this issue that we don't necessarily know. We can be talking to someone right now, or have had a conversation with someone in passing, and they too have experienced or are experiencing some type of emotional trauma or some type of physical abuse. And it's important that we talk about this matter, because the more that we in our society we want to suppress things that are necessarily viewed as bad, or we don't want to talk about that, we shush about certain things. And this is not a topic that we should shush. This is a topic that we should talk about more. We should put it out there more, because if we don't shed light on this topic, it's going to continue to happen. And I just want to, before we get into really honing in on our actual conversation about it, I want to spread some statistics with you all on how many people are actually really dealing with domestic violence. You have, within the United States, an average of 20 people experience intimate partner physical violence every minute. So this equates to more than 10 million abuse victims yearly. And then you have 1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men experiencing some type of severe intimate partner physical violence, intimate partner contact sexual violence, and or intimate partner stalking, with impacts such as injury, fearfulness, Okay, we're back. Sorry about the interruption. But domestic violence is huge, and within the United States, within all over the world. It mainly affects a lot of women, but it also affects men too. And we want to shed light on it, not just coming from a relationship standpoint, but becoming from a friendship standpoint, family members. It's not just looking at emotional and physical abuse from the relationship status, but also from how you deal with your people within your circles and within your families, because they can influence how a domestic abuser, or someone who puts emotional abuse on a person, how they treat them is how they treat others in the long run. So those people who are putting out those manipulative ways, characteristics, or those narcissistic characteristics, they have been mimicking that from either a learned behavior from their environments, or, you know, something that they have perceived from someone who has treated them this way, and they feel like that's the only way that they can shed love or show love, or you know, feel like they have to defend themselves in that nature. And it's important that we know that, you know, sometimes it's not always, most times it's not us. If we're in that situation, it's a lot of that person. We have to realize that, and we have to know the signs of, you know, manipulators and narcissist individuals who has these type of personality disorders, and how to get away from them. It's important that we don't allow them to think that their behavior is okay,
Right.
and we don't stay in those type of situations, because we know how hard it is to get out of situations like that, or how hard it is to get away from individuals like that. But, you know, it's important that we talk about it. It's important that we hold conversations about it, because, you know, abusive relationships are never okay, and we ignore the signs in the beginning. There are lots of signs that we'll see that, you know, maybe we are like, oh, well, that's just, you know, that he just did that one time, or
Right.
she just said that one time. She really didn't mean that. But then it becomes more of a pattern, where they'll show you love in one instance, and then in the next instance, they're like throwing off on you, or they're tearing you down, or they're, you know, really aggressive towards you, and you're like, all I'm doing is showing you love
Right.
and affection, and, you know, trying to show you how much I'm supportive of you. But when you don't do one thing for them, all they can do is just throw off on you, or say things, hurtful things, to try to tear you down, because they can't get what they want out of you, or they're having a horrible day and they're taking all their frustrations out on you in a negative way, and they're, you know, emotionally abusing you in that instance, and making you feel like you're less than, or you're not worthy, or you feel like you can't, you're feeling like you can't even relate, you know, to them, and then what they're saying to you is true, but that's not
Right.
true. You know, we have to understand the signs. We have to look for
And know
those
your
signs.
worth.
Yes, and know our worth. That's so important. But we can understand, coming from our standpoint, from the situations we have dealt with,
Right.
how you can get into those types of situations. You know, you can get into a situation with a person who comes off loving and so trusting at first, because they don't show you those signs, and then you get, you know, midways into something, and after that they've wooed you and you're all in, and then they start showing you signs of, you know, they start talking at you some kind of way, and you just takes you off guard, but you're like, oh no, that's just a one-time thing, and then it becomes repetitive, and they start, you know, saying things that are hurting your spirit, that is hurting your mindset, that is hurting, you know, how you feel about yourself. You're starting to walk on eggshells with the things that you say to them, because they take offense to every little thing that you say, every little thing that you do is an issue with them. And it's important that we understand that they have emotional issues that they're dealing with that we can't fix.
Right.
It's beyond us to fix those type of people, you know.
Right.
They, of course, we recognize that they do have an issue, they do need help, you know, but it's up to them to fix those types of issues, and we can't do that. But we have to know when to walk away, and there are issues with walking away as well that we've dealt with when it comes to, you know, stalking, and it comes to them threatening you and things like that, which
Right.
is never okay.
Right.
So you should definitely take the necessary measures in order to make sure that people are not, you know, putting you in harm's way, putting your children in harm's way, making you feel as if they're going to attack you for for knowing your self-worth, and knowing
Right.
that you deserve better, because you do deserve better. You do deserve to be in a better area, other than with someone who's always making you feel depressed and alone and, you know, miserable, because they're feeling those ways, and they're putting those things off on you. So we're going to get into those topics, and our 3 points that we want to make today when we're talking about identifying those manipulators and those narcissists is that, number one, knowing that you deserve better.
Right.
You know, we get so caught up in pleasing others, and, you know, wanting to be there for others, and wanting to make them see the love that we have for them, and wanting them to understand that, you know, we're there for you, we support you, you know, I want you to know that I'm all in with you, that I'm there for you. But we end up taking the brunt of whatever they're dealing with.
Right.
That they throw off on us, we take all of their negative energy, and then
And those are the people that, manipulators look for.
Yes.
People who are codependent, people who are giving. And as women, that's what we are. We are very giving. That's in our nature. That's normal for of us to, continue to give. And sometimes we give a whole lot more than what we should. And that's important, like, with knowing your self-worth. Once you know your self-worth, you're not going to let someone come in that's toxic. You're not going to let those different people come in, that try to belittle you or something like that. It's important for you to set boundaries, and have those, like I said on the last video, you need to have those predisposed boundaries. Okay, make a list of, things that you won't tolerate, things that won't work for you. If I'm talking to anybody or if I'm dating anyone, like in my past relationships, I was in emotional and physically abusive relationships. So, when someone calls me out of my name, that's something I can't deal with now. If someone threatens to hit me, I can't deal with that. And I let them know that up front, because sometimes, we'll get into a relationship and everything, like she said, is going good from the beginning. You're so-called in love with a person, and then they start showing those manipulative sides of themselves, and they come in and you're like, where did that come from? But you're so invested at that point already, like, it's like you kind of try to mold it so that it doesn't look so bad, or we try to make it like, or maybe I'm just tripping, or like maybe it's my fault that he did that, or and we try to make excuses for those people. And like I said, you have to have those boundaries in place already, so if someone comes and they cross or violate those boundaries, you have the you can say, no, I'm not going to deal with that. So yeah,
it is very important. So,
and don't be afraid to, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
And don't be afraid to enforce those boundaries, because just like a child, you tell a child to, listen, I have 3 very terrible kids. So.
They are not terrible. Don't you speak that
I'm
of those
sorry.
children.
They're not terrible, but they are.
They are active.
Yeah, they're very active.
Explorers.
So, sometimes when they're, acting up like, I can't take it, so I'm just yelling, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. They'll hear me say sit down, but I'm not doing nothing, so they're gonna keep on running around. But when I put my foot down and I go get, they get in trouble. That's when they stop doing it. So if you have a boundary, you need to enforce it. So when someone crosses those boundaries, and if you take them back, or they keep on trying to do it, like, they're not gonna take you seriously. So that's something important to, like, enforcing those boundaries. And knowing those red flags, when those red flags come up at the beginning, like, if somebody comes and hits you in your face, you're going to obviously know that that's being abusive. But with the emotional abuse, and I think
they don't start out that way.
Right. And with emotional abuse, it's kind of hard to, realize when someone is being emotionally abusive, because, with physical abuse, okay, someone's coming to hit you, so that's not right. But when the emotional abuse, and I can say this from experience, it starts out as those little things, like the little things that a person might say, and you're like, hold up, did they say that? That didn't feel right. That's you're not crazy. Like, you need to pay attention to those voices that are telling you that what they're doing is not right. Because as time goes on, it's gonna get worse and worse and worse. And at the end of the day, he might tie you up and have a gun to your head, like, you never know. So it's important to pay attention to those signs at the beginning. And like you said, stalking, like, all that kind of stuff, it plays a big role in it.
Yes, and I was going to say, anybody who calls you out your name, or calls you, disrespectful names, or disrespects you in a manner, they don't love you. They don't even love themselves to be able to disrespect you in that manner. So that's not acceptable. Those are red flags right there. You should never allow anybody to refer to you as, excuse my French, but a bitch or a hoe. Because you are not those things. You should not allow people to refer to you. No man or woman should refer to you in that manner. I don't care if it's a friend.
You're a queen.
Exactly. I don't care if it's a friend. I don't care if it's a family member. It's just unacceptable. It's disrespectful for you. You'd fight a complete stranger or have issues with a complete stranger calling you those things. So why would you allow somebody who's supposed to be close to you to talk to you in that manner?
Loves you.
Right, that loves you. If you wouldn't allow somebody else to do it, why is it acceptable for them to do it? Because you love them? But do they really love you? Because if they really loved you, they wouldn't do that. And then, like Jazz said, with those red flags, it starts out with control. I'm going to read you guys the definition of a narcissist, which is narcissistic personality disorder. And it says that the cause The symptoms of them include an excessive need for admiration. So they're always looking for someone who's gonna admire them, who's always gonna make them feel like they're on a pedestal, because they feel like they're God's gift to earth and the world revolves around them. So you have to move the way they tell you to move.
Right, and that's why all of that love bombing comes at the beginning. They're trying to get you to build that, that trust in them, so you can tell them how great of a person that they are. That's what comes in the beginning. So that's why they do that.
Yes, and then they have a disregard for others' feelings. So nobody else's feelings matter but theirs. And if you get mad at them, they're going to twist around while you're mad at them to make it seem like you did something wrong. Right. You were the cause for them being mad. Your feelings don't matter. Their feelings are the only ones that matter, because they're the only one who matters in this world. Clearly, that's the only thing they're thinking. Right. And then they have an inability to handle any criticism. So if you're criticizing them for something, and it could be positive criticism, but they make it seem like you're attacking them. They're always on the defense. Yes, they take everything personally. You can even be joking with them in a joking manner, and they get completely mad at you about something that you were joking about, and it becomes an issue for them. And then they have a sense of entitlement, a sense of you owe me, like the world owes them something. And those type of people, those type of people, you can't help them. You can't do anything good for them. They feel like they're this person. They're on a pedestal. You're gonna be, you should bow down to who they are. That's literally how some people really feel. And if with the narcissistic personality disorder, that's exactly how they feel. They feel like the world owes them something. You should be bowing down. If it's a man, they feel like, oh, they're God's gift to women, and women should be falling at their feet. How dare you reject them? If you do reject them, they cursing you out and calling you all kinds of names, because they can't take rejection easily. Or if it's a woman, they feel like they're God's gift to men. And, whatever they have to offer, a man should be glad to even have them, and he should be doing all these things for them. And men need to look out for signs of that too, because that is real with women as well. Exactly. Nobody should be treated that way.
Right. And that's why I think when you're dating, it's important for you to take your time. Really get to know a person. Know if that person is right for you. Do you all have the same values, the same type of goals? And like I said, just take your time, slow it down. If you notice that when you're talking to someone or you're dating someone and they're always in a constant rush, it's because they don't want to hold that character, or play that character role for a long period of time. They can't, because eventually those red flags, they are going to start coming out, and you're going to be onto them. So, that's why they try to love bomb you and tell you you're great, and, get you to fall in love, like, in a hurry. So that's why it's important for you to, like, really take your time. You don't have to rush, and just be patient, really get to know that person, because when life comes along, different things are going to happen throughout life. You're not going to always get along. You're not going to always agree on certain things. But if you're a person who is aware of yourself, you're not going to let yourself get angry or upset. Like, I've learned to control my temper, like, just the way I deal with people. Like, I've learned that over the years. Like, I've learned how to control that better. So I don't want to be in a relationship where I'm in a relationship with someone who's always confrontational. Like, I don't want to be in that. So, when certain things come up, like while you're dating, you can tell, like, just from those conversations, like, will this be a person who, when things are, get a little rocky, are they going to blow up on me? Are they going to disregard my feelings? Are they going to, like I said, call me out of my name? Are they going to be disrespectful? And like I said, you have to, as a woman especially, you have to really control your emotions, because I feel as women, we set the atmosphere in our homes, in a relationship, in our marriage, we set that atmosphere. If we're we're being all hostile, our mate is going to be hostile towards us, so if we're at a calm place, sometimes we do get upset, but you have to take a step back and, sometimes calm down, because even with the narcissists or like emotionally abusive people, they'll try to provoke you, and I that happens to me so much, and it's like, you're talking to me like that, so I didn't know how to control those emotions, so I'm ready to fight by that time, for real, like, you talk to me in a kind of way, but that's what they want you to do. So when you do go on that outrage, they're able to come back and say, see, that's why I'm doing that, that's why I hit you, because you are the one who is yelling at me. No, but you provoked me, like, I remember, like, you have to come back to that. That's why it's very important for you to control your emotions.
Definitely, Bevelin. Stop giving them the power to feel that like they're entitled. Stop allowing them to make it seem like the world revolves around them, because they don't. And like Jazz said, it's gonna be those little things that you overlook. It's gonna be those little things that they're gonna get offended about, that you're gonna be like, oh well, I better not say that to him anymore because he's gonna be upset with me. Oh well, I better do this way. Oh well, even down to how you dress. Right. Or how you come around. Oh well, I better not dress this way because he might not like it. Or I better do things this way because he might be offended by this. Or I better not say these things because they might take it in the wrong way. And you're walking on eggshells at this point. Right. That's how they've controlled you. Right. Because now you're walking around on eggshells, making sure that you don't offend them in any little way. And that's not that becomes miserable at a certain point. Right. You don't want to be controlled. Nobody is supposed to be controlled. You should be free to be yourself, and the person that you're with should love you for your free spirit and yourself, and how free you are, and how open you are, or how not open you are. Because it's hard to trust again once you've been in these relationships. Once
it tears your self-esteem
down. Yes, it does. Right? I can attest to you that it definitely does. It tears your self-esteem down. It makes you feel lost. It makes you feel as if you don't know who you are. You're confused. You get to asking God, why would you put me in a situation with someone like this? You're stuck trying to fix this person because you love them so much. So you're like, if I can just love them enough, for whatever the issues are that they're dealing with, hopefully they'll come around and they'll just love me just enough, to see that I'm worth being with. When you have to just take a step back and realize you are always worthy. Right. You are always going to have that self-worth, and that, you someone out there for you is not going to make you feel that way. This isn't normal. Right. None of it is normal. It's not.
And it's crazy because, like, doing the studies, it's so many narcissists in the world. It's sort of like the what is it called, the disorder that autism. It's on a spectrum. Like, so some cases that it's very severe, and then on the other end of the spectrum, it's like they're manageable. They can be on their own, and that you where you can't even really tell that they're autistic. It's just like that with narcissism. Like, while I've been studying it, it's some people that are just blatant. They're downright narcissists. They're rude. They're they're entitled to everything, and then you have those the other lower end of the spectrum where they might have a little bit of those qualities. And the lower end of the spectrum, those are the people that you definitely have to watch out for, because they are the biggest manipulators. And because they are manipulators, they feed off of people with low self-esteem, people who aren't aware of themselves. That's why it's important for you to set those boundaries and to know who you are and know what you're not going to say, what is good for you and what's not. You need to have confidence in yourself, to say, tell someone up front, okay, this is what I need, and you communicate that with each other, so you won't be involved in those types of situations. And remember that you can't change anyone. That's very important to remember. No matter how much you love them, how much you give, like, there's just gonna be that. And sometimes when we stay in those situations, like I said, it's just bad for our self-esteem and our overall well-being. And that's what we want to do here at Queen Me. We want to get you in a state of mind where you get up every day, fulfilling your purpose in life. Amen. Because we all have a purpose on this earth. That's what we are here for. And, when you're dealing with different things, I always say, like, your relationship is going to affect every part of your life. If your relationships, no matter if it's with friends, family, no matter who it's with, if they aren't right, then your life isn't going to be right. You're not going to, give your all towards, focusing on the things that you need to do to be successful. Or, you're not going to be worried about that, because you're going to be too worried about, what about this person? I need to get them prepared so they can come along with me. And I wasted so many years of my life, trying to fix people. And that's something that I can't do it anymore. And you have to be fed up enough to know. And that's where the help comes from, when you realize, okay, what part did I play in, allowing these people? Because you had a part to play in it. You allowed these people to come in and treat you that way. We teach people how to treat us.
Yes, we do.
They can't do anything to us that we don't allow. So, you have to see was it that the fact that I'm codependent? Am I needy? Do I need others' validation to complete me? You have to have that self-love for yourself, not just saying it, but really loving yourself. Not allowing somebody, if they can't treat, I always say, if a person can't treat me how I treat me, then I don't need them. So, it's just important that you keep that in your mind.
Correct, Jazz.
Criteria.
I definitely agree with that, especially being that we need to understand that narcissists, Lord. Narcissist, the word.
Just like the word is difficult, they are difficult.
They are difficult. Narcissistic people do not like strong people. They can't take them. They can't be around them. If they're around them, they are trying to compete with them. They're trying to show why they are so important. They are trying to prove who they are when they're around them. So we got to understand that the stronger you get, the more you will deflect these type of people from your life. You have to stand in your strength. You have to stand in who you are. You have to enforce who you are as a person. Make people know how much you love you. Right. If you don't love you enough, they won't love. Why would they love you? Right. If you are always speaking on your negative qualities, or why people don't like you this way, or why some people might don't speak down. Speak positivity into your world and just always being positive about your situations, because they can't take that. Right. They can't take positivity. They can't take, people who are always uplifting and always upbeat. Right. It scares them. Right. So they want to get away from that. And my mother has told me over and over countless times, and I'm going to tell it to y'all, you can't be a social worker for everybody. You just can't. You can't fix people. You can't change people. What they have going on within them when it comes to being narcissistic and being, emotionally abusive and physically abusive is something much deeper within them. Something that they are dealing with that is either in a learned behavior from their environment, or, it's all they've seen in their lives. So now they're projecting that on your life, because they feel like that's the only way they can get their point across. That's the only way they can throw off how they express their feelings and things like that. So we have to understand how not to allow these people to let them be. We have to scare them just like they try to scare us. Right. You have, by being strong, by being powerful in your truth and powerful in who you are.
Right, and check on it. She says, this is for the girls in the back that thought it was legal to beat their men.
That too.
Like, you can't put your hands on
don't put your hands on anybody.
Right, because it's not just men, it's women that are narcissists too. Like she said, like women can be abusive. And that's why you have to be aware of what the narcissists try to do. They try to come in and provoke you. Like I said, you come in and calling me out of my name, like I'm ready to fight by that time. But you have to have control of your emotions. Right. Like, you have to stay calm, because that's their main goal, is to get you fired up. Right. That's
their main goal is to tear you down. And they get high off of, calling you out of your name. They're going to go to the lowest point they can go. They're going to say some things that is going to be hurtful. But when you know who you are, and you know that you are not those things, and you know that you are better than anything that they could ever say to you, that it makes you laugh. Right. And it makes you say,
it's like they're a little child, like screaming
because
for
they're
attention.
like an immature child that's throwing a temper tantrum, that's screaming for attention. It's like, I'm sorry, baby, but I can't help you.
I can't do nothing for you.
That's your issue that you're dealing with. I'm not going to be, that punching bag for you. And like Quateria says, you have to be strong enough to not go back.
Right.
Don't give them that leverage up on you, because every time you go back, they nice for a minute. They say, yeah, I got them again.
Right.
I got them just for a little bit longer. I can still do this to them. I'm going to show them the nice side of me for a minute, but then they right back to doing it again a week or two later. You know, so you got to be able to understand, you know, your self-worth. You got to be able to look for those signs in those people. And then when you see those signs, please run.
Don't say it, because
please run.
And especially for the women who are in, you know, marriages, sometimes it's difficult for you to get out. Now, if they're being, you know, physically abusive towards you, then you shouldn't stay in that situation at all. I don't care, like, what people have their judgments. You shouldn't get a divorce and all that kind of stuff. And that is in the Bible. But, you know, like, God does not want you to get there and sit there and get your eye black. Like,
no,
that's not cool. Like, He does not want that. That's not what He has for us. And, you know, like, it's just important just recognizing, you know, that you are worthy. You don't have to stay in those type of situations. There is a way out, because sometimes we feel like there is no way out. We don't have any help. You know, there's different, and we're going to be putting that on our page, like different help centers that you can go to, you know, to get counseling, because especially in the Black community, we don't think we have anyone to go to. Sometimes we can't afford psychiatrists or people that come in and tell us exactly what's going on. So we try to process this all by ourselves, and that's what we're here for. Like, y'all are helping us. Y'all don't know we go through stuff too. Like,
yes.
We go through a lot of stuff.
Oh, yes.
So just reading y'all comments and stuff like that's helping us out.
Motivation,
so, right?
Yeah, I can tell y'all firsthand. This is where we're being as real as we can. That's right. But true love never hurts.
Right.
Never hurts you physically, mentally, emotionally. It never hurts you. You're going to go through things. There are going to be things that you're going to deal with, but it never, ever hurts. But yeah, you know, I've been dealing with things, you know, where, you know, I have narcissistic people in my life who does things that are, you know, you just take a look at it and be like, now that I see it, I laugh at it, because it's like I can recognize that, you know, I can see who that person is, but it's also, it can be hurtful because, you know, I've never wanted anything but the best for these people. And so when they throw off on you, or when they start being, you know, negative towards you, or saying negative things towards you, it can be hurtful, because it's like, you know, I never would have thought, you know, it would have, you know, you would have been that person off of meeting you. But you got to know that you just can't help those people. Sometimes you have to cut them off completely, you know, and just get away from them, because they don't mean you any good. They can't, and they feel like your enemy. They literally feel like your enemy, like you're fighting a battle with a demon or a spirit that just won't go away. You know,
it's because they're not happy within themselves.
Yes.
And it's like, you, like you said, you're a threat to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially when you're happy and you're uplifted, they're like, why can I feel like that? Let me say what I need to say to tear her down. Let me call her fat, you know, so she won't go out and, you know, feel good about herself, you know. And that's what their main objective is to make you feel bad about themselves. Because when they see that they have a negative effect on you, that gets them high. It's like an adrenaline rush for those type of people. And especially, like, when you're dating, like, I think it's important, like, how do I put this? You know, like a dog, you know, you pet them when they're good and you punish them when they're bad. Not punish, but, you know, you punish them when they're bad. So, like, when you're dating someone, if they're doing things that they're throwing off those red flags, you know, don't give them more attention. You take step back, let them know that's not okay. Because as women, like, a lot of women say they, like, you know, they go for these bad boys or whatever, and we got that all wrong. Like,
all wrong.
No, you need somebody who is gonna treat you good. And it's like, we give more attention when you know, they're coming in. Not now, I don't do this, but, you know, when I was younger, you know, I used to give more attention when they would treat me wrong, because I'm like, I'm looking for that approval, like, you know. And someone coming in that really wants to love you properly, you don't know how to accept that, because you've been torn down so much in the past, like, you don't even know how to accept that, you know. So if a person is coming in doing all the right things, then you give more of your time. You know, call that person more, text that person more. When they're doing those wrong things, like giving you those red flags, you need to be backing up, like, it's because eventually, guess what? That red flag is going to turn into a black eye. So.
Yes, and we have to get out of the habit of trying to impress broken people. Mm-hmm. Individuals like this are broken. They are, you know, when you they're trying to impress other broken people because they're broken and they're looking for reassurance. They're looking for a reason to feel important. They're looking for, instead of understanding that, you know, loving on yourself and impressing yourself is the biggest self-support that you can give yourself out of anything. And that leads, what we just talked about leads into the getting help portion of, you know, our segment for today is talk to somebody. If you're dealing with this, please talk. There is helplines that we will post on our page after this is over with. A domestic violence national helpline. You have local support in your areas. That is, I spoke with Saving Grace. And I'm going to post these ladies' information too. We were trying to get them to come on, but they both had time conflicts. Both of the founders of Saving Grace, which is Saving Grace House in the Grady County area of in mostly Cairo, Georgia, but they are able to service just about anybody. I talked to those ladies, and they say how it's so hard to get people to come forward and talk about it because of the stigma that's associated with domestic violence, and how people don't want to, show up to like domestic violence walks or different things like that
because they don't want to be associated with it,
or they are scared of what people might think. Yeah, so they are a great resource in the Grady County community if you are in there. I'll post other resources that are in the Florida areas, and just links where you can go to find other different resources in different areas that you may be in. But it's important to seek help, get help, talk to somebody. Try to get yourself out of those situations. We understand that it's hard. Nobody here is judging you, but we want you to understand the importance of making that choice. And then with your family, if you have children involved in regards to domestic violence, when you've gotten out of those situations, please get those kids some counseling.
Right.
What they've perceived, what they've heard, what they have seen their mothers or their fathers deal with in regards to an abusive person, that sets a tone for a child's growth and how they deal with relationships later on in life. And I know that one of the ladies with Saving Grace was telling me, Miss Noni Brown, that she did get her children some counseling after she dealt with a specific situation, because she said that it was important. And I really wanted her to come on and tell her story, which she wanted to, but she had some other obligations that she had. But I am going to do an interview with her because I really want to shed light, because her story may help some people. And if you have a story that you may want to come on and tell us, or talk to somebody, talk it out to give people who might be in a similar situation a beacon of light of how you were able to overcome that situation and get out, please let us know. We're happy to bring you on right now. But it's important that you find those resources in your areas. You talk to different people. You talk to somebody who can get you help. Even if you can't reach out, just say something to somebody. If you want to inbox us, we are happy to help you get some help. That's what Queen Me is here for. We're happy to talk about, as mentoring, mentorship. We're able to mentor. We're able to help you in situations where you feel like you can't get out and you need a way out. We are here to help you, talk you through those situations and help you get the resources needed. All you have to do is inbox us. We're available for that. But please get help. It's not okay to be in a situation where someone is emotionally or physically abusing you.
And it's scary, like, just being in that situation. I know personally, like, it's scary, like, going to the law enforcement or, enforcing those boundaries, because you're thinking, okay, if I upset that person, they're going to come in and try to retaliate against me, so sometimes we don't want to, go to the law or, try to get, restraining orders in place because we're scared. Give us 1 second, I'm sorry. Sorry about that, y'all. But yeah, it's important for you to, reach out to your family members. You're not in this alone. A lot of women, they think that they're going through this by themselves, but you don't know, like, who else is going through this with you, or just open up and talking about it, because other people have been in those situations. Like I said, y'all are on here, like, y'all are helping me. This is counseling for me, because, like, I'm still growing through it, like, trying to get my self-esteem back and, getting back on track, from being torn down in those abusive relationships. So
yeah, and that's very true. Like, even me, I'm growing through. We've all been through certain things. Some people more than others. But doing this, I find myself being down sometimes. Like, hey, how can I motivate other people when I've dealt with those situations? I've gone through those things.
Right.
But when God calls you to do something to help other people, you can't fight it, or you can't fight that spirit of helpfulness, because it's important that whatever you can bring into this world, or whatever you can put out into this world to help others, we should do it. It's not easy to overcome these things. We're not here to tell you to just, jump out, but we're here to tell you that it's important for you to get help. It's important for you to talk it out with somebody. It's bottling it in and just dealing with somebody who's constantly, no matter who it is, a mother, a dad, a family member, a friend who might show these same qualities. Well, not really qualities, but red flags, or significant other. It's important that you get that help that you so desperately need, because you want it. I know you're thinking about it. I know you're thinking about a way not to have to deal with this. And like Jazz said, when you do get, that bad boy spirit where you think that these things are okay, but then when you do get into something with someone else, now they have to pay the price of building your trust and gaining your trust and gaining and breaking down those walls that you've now put up because you've been hurt so many times, whether it's through your mind, through your emotions, or physically. All of it plays a part all together in you. Emotional abuse is just as bad as physical abuse.
I think it's worse.
I think it's worse.
It's really worse because, okay, you can hit me and I can heal, but, you try to tear me down from the inside. Like, I have to sleep with myself. I have to get in the shower with myself. So I'm there constantly beating myself up because of something that you told me. And, especially with the emotionally abusive people, like getting out of a relationship with those people, it's not easy because you're always reflecting on those good times you had. Because when you're in those type of relationships, it's so many ups and downs, and you keep on focusing, hoping, you can get back to those good times. What can you do to get back to that point when, when you first met, what can I do to help this, get back to where we were? And that's why it's hard, like, leaving those situations, because sometimes we miss, like, what it used to be, and because they've torn us down so much, we think there's nothing else better out there. But when you get rid of those negative things in your life, what you're doing is you're making room for better things to come into your life and better people. You just have to know that you're worth it and you're able to, get past all of that.
Right, and hope. Oh, hope. That hope keeps a lot of us there. It keeps a lot of us wanting to stay somewhere because we have that hope that things are going to get better. I could just love him a little bit more, if I could just, talk them through this a little bit more, if I can just, give them a shoulder to lean on. And let me tell you how a manipulator and a narcissist get up under your skin. They'll tell you about these traumatic events that they've had occur in their life. So that's how they're weighing on your intellect right there. So they're making you feel sorry for them.
Right.
And then every time you go through something with them, they'll go back to, well, this is the only way I know how to survive because this happened to me and nobody ever loved me, and this is what I had to deal with, and I had to fight all of my life to get here, and I don't know any other way, and nobody was and then the jealousy factor will come in too. Then they'll be like, well, your people used to do this for you. I didn't have those things. I didn't get to, I didn't get that luxury of this, that, and other. You don't know where I've come from, this, that. So they're playing on your intellect, on your mindset, and you're feeling, so they have you feeling sorry for them. They have you mad at them. They have you wanting to help them. You're loving them more than you're loving yourself. And please.
That is not what love feels like.
No. Love you more than you love anybody else, because it doesn't get any worse than you loving somebody else and they don't love you back the same. So you're putting 150% in and you're only getting 15% out of it. That doesn't help you. That doesn't help your mindset, your intellect. We know how hard it is. We've been there. We've done all of that. We know how so hard it is to think that, I got hope. Maybe if I just do this a little bit different, or if I just act in this manner a different way, they'll change. They won't change.
And we always try to see the potential in somebody.
Yes.
Like, no, what are they showing you now? Like, you have to come
Take
to the relationship.
who they are.
Exactly. You have to go into a relationship thinking, okay, what if they don't change? What if they're going to be like this for the next 10 years, 20 years? am I okay with this? Or, if you can't see yourself doing that, if you don't see them making the proper steps, not just talking about it, because you can talk about all day your goals and what you want to do, but if you're not making the steps or, the necessary changes to get there, then you're just talking. Like, so you have to be aware of that, because, like I said, we fall in love with the potential of somebody. Like, they don't even see that. We see things in them that they can't even see themselves.
And that goes for men and women. We look for projects.
Yes.
Why do we do that? We look for a project instead of looking for somebody who can, we can relate to, who can already be, right there and be on the same mindset and wave frequency that we're on. You're up here and thinking, and they're still stuck here.
Right.
And how you can tell about these people is, once you've overcome them, their mindset is still the same. You've overcome that situation, you've moved past that situation, and their mindset is still stuck on that 8 years ago when you first met them, and they were still doing all these things throughout your relationship. And you're way past that now. Like Lisa said, you're staying focused, you're moving forward in your direction of where you're going, and they're constantly still stuck doing the same behaviors that they were. Right, you need that growth. And that's so important to understand that they don't want you to grow. Mm-mm. They don't want you to be any better than them. Do you look for those people
to you?
Yes, feeling inferior to you. They feel like they are superior, and you need to stay below them. You don't want people like that in your life, because that's not. Everybody should be looking to help one another growth, and you should be supportive in everyone's growth. Because we're not here to tear each other down. We're here to help each other. And when they can't see that you're a team, and they're not seeing the team in the two of you, they're only seeing the I in the entire situation.
What can I get out of it?
Exactly. Or they're only looking for what you can do for them, and they're not on the reciprocating end. Red flags all day. Those are some signs. Yep. And then
you're not their mom, you're not their dad.
Yes, you can't do.
Like, that's something that the mom, the dad should do. Like, you don't have no control over that.
Yes, and then going into our third point of knowing when to walk away.
And it's gonna hurt. Like, you're gonna, like, especially with those emotionally abusive relationships, like I said, like, it's not gonna be easy to get over those people, because, like I said, you're gonna be reflecting on those good times y'all had. But that's when you need to surround yourself with people who are gonna uplift you. Go out with your friends. Surround yourself with family who love you. Because when they tear us down so much, we feel like we're unworthy of love. Like, that's the best that we're gonna get. Like, it don't get no better than them, and that's why they try to tear us down, so we will look at them like they're better than us. And that's not true, because the person that really loves you, they're not gonna hurt you, they're not gonna tear you down. No. They're gonna lift you up, and just as much as you're enforcing them with positivity, they're gonna be giving you the same thing in return. So and it's okay, it's gonna hurt, but know that in time you will heal. It's gonna sting. You're gonna cry. Some days you're gonna feel good. Some days you're gonna feel bad. But just knowing that that you're able to make it through the next day, and that in the future you are gonna be happy. Even if it's not with somebody else, you need to have that happiness within yourself. To love yourself enough to know, like, if nobody else comes into my life, I'm fulfilled enough within myself that I'm okay with it.
Yes, and definitely. When it comes to, like Jazz was just saying, dealing with the factor of, are they going to be with somebody else? Well, what if I'm with them long enough that, I get them fixed? Right. Oh, Lord, yes. But, that thought of, what if I give up on hope, and then they actually change, and then somebody else get what I've dealt with for all this time? Baby, you don't want that headache. You'll lose your best years trying to stay and fix somebody that somebody else can be nurturing on you and loving on you and appreciating you for the person that you really are, and appreciating all of those great qualities that come with you and who you are, because they appreciate you, they value you. They see your self-worth. They see how great of an asset you are to them and you are to each other. Right. That is so much more important than you trying to fix that man or that woman who has all these whether it's mommy and daddy issues or issues where they've had some kind of traumatic experiences in life that they won't move from, that you can't fix them. You're not a psychologist, you're not a counselor, you're only a person who loves them. And love sometimes just is not enough for them.
And we can't say that people will never change, but you just have to realize that you can't change that person. They have to change for themselves. So even if they move on with someone and they treat that person much better than what they should, that you should be happy for them. Because like I said, you're fulfilled within yourself, and you know, with you giving off all of these good energies, like the universe is gonna give the same thing back to you.
Are.
You know, so if you're happy for them, just know that, okay, I can have someone who loves me 10 times better than they ever did. So you go ahead, you be happy, like that has nothing to do with me. You know, you just forget that and, you know, focus on you and continue to move forward within your life.
And you have to be content in knowing, you know, that you've done all you could do to make whatever situation that is work. You have to be content in knowing that, you know, it's not always going to be about, you know, what that outcome is going to be, because that outcome may not be what you hoped it would have been in the beginning. But whatever that outcome is, it's an outcome that you need, you know, and take from this situation a true lesson, because what you've gone through has birthed something new inside of you and helped you gain, you know, your self-worth, your self-confidence, you know, your focus, your determination. You know, you've overcome something that some people don't overcome.
They don't make it out.
People die from this. Yes. People have commit suicide from these issues. You know, you gotta understand that this is a very real situation that you've overcome, and you are greater than that situation. You are greater than, you know, what those things did to you, because you overcame something that some people weren't able to make it out of, and you have a story to tell that can help so many others. And yes, Lisa, we could talk about this all night. I mean, we can definitely do a part 2 of this conversation to talking
about enough. Like,
right, it definitely isn't.
It's you have to get your mind changed, and it's gonna take time. Like, just from us hearing that, or you all hearing this for the first time, you're gonna hear it, but it's probably gonna go out the window, because it takes time. It took me time to get my mind to change. It's you have to keep on enforcing yourself with those you know, those positive affirmations every day. You know, loving yourself, just taking the proper classes, looking on YouTube. That's where I get a lot of my inspiration from, like YouTube. Like, you know, that's my psychiatrist. That's my psychiatrist right there. Like, it's helpful. Or talking to your family members, and, you know, keep on getting that positive reinforcement. You know, that's going to be important, because it's not easy. It's going to take time. It's going to hurt, you know, but eventually you're going to come to a point, you're going to be like, what was I thinking? Like, I love me some me.
Right.
Like, what was I doing all this time? So, yeah, it's going to take some time.
And
but
definitely, if you need to get help, I know it's a stigma. Everybody thinks it's a negative to have a counselor or a psychiatrist or go see someone. You should do that. It is not a stigma. It is important for your mental health, because like Lisa said, having a hurting heart, stress, depression leads to other toxic things, chronic diseases within your health that can lead to heart disease and many different other things, because you're not taking full care of yourself or taking full care of your health. So you need to understand that these factors all play a factor into your long-term health as well. It's important that we know that our emotional minds is what have the ultimate effect on our physical bodies. Right. You know, stress kills. Stress kills with heart disease, with heart, all kind of different things, as far as, you know, how we eat through our stress. You know, if certain people eat their stress or eat, you know, on impulse because they're upset, that can lead to diabetes. You know, all these different chronic diseases and chronic illnesses that can occur from just stressing over certain situations or going through certain situations that have negative impacts on our lives. So, you know, so it's important to know when to walk away. It's important to get out of these situations. It's not easy. We get that. We understand that. But if we can be a beacon of light, if we can help you in any type of way, if you want to reach out to us, whether it's a private message, we're happy to, you know, call you and talk you through a situation. We're happy to, you know, connect you with, you know, a resource center to help you in regards to if you're being physically abused and you don't know, you know, how to get out. They can help you with that. we're all about being a resource for you, a resource to help you. We're not looking to charge anybody. We're just looking to do God's work in a way that we can do it as He see fit for us to do.
And this is not for everybody.
No.
If we can help just one person,
Mm-hmm.
then our job is fulfilled. Like,
Right.
Judgment
Free, a listening ear to, help you, because we know where you've been. We know what you're dealing with. We know, how hard it is to love somebody so hard and they don't love you in return and they tear you down at every chance. We understand that. And so we want to be a resource for you and help for you.
So we've come to the top of the hour. So we got our hour in. So, thank y'all for watching, and go ahead and like and share this video. Even if you got a little, inspiration from this video, it might be someone else that you might know that you can share it with that can use this information. Share it on your timeline. One of your friends might be going through something. And like she said, it saves lives, like getting this information. Like, you might be able to save somebody's life. So thank y'all for coming on and joining us, and we really appreciate y'all.
We really do appreciate you all. And before we go, I know that, what is her? Lee Bird shared a good, I've read that poem before, actually, Lee Bird, and I want to read it before it's over, because I think it's important that we hear this poem. This will help somebody. And the poem is a domestic violence poem, but it's called I Got Flowers Today. I got flowers today. It wasn't my birthday or any other special day. We had our first argument last night, and he said a lot of cruel things that really hurt. I know that he is sorry and didn't mean to say the things he said, because he sent me flowers today. I got flowers today. It wasn't our anniversary or any other special day. Last night, he threw me into a wall and started to choke me. It seemed like a nightmare. I couldn't believe that it was real. I woke up this morning sore and bruised all over. I know he must be sorry, because he sent me flowers today. I got flowers today. It wasn't our anniversary or any special day. Last night, he threw me into this is the second one. I got flowers today, and it wasn't Valentine's Day or any other special day. Last night, he beat me and threatened to kill me. Makeup and long sleeves didn't hide the cuts and bruises this time. I couldn't go to work today because I didn't want anyone to know, but I know he's sorry because he sent me flowers today. I got flowers today, and it wasn't Mother's Day or any other special day. Last night, he beat me again, and it was worse than all of the other times. If I leave him, what will I do? How will I take care of the kids? What about money? I'm afraid of him, but I'm too scared and dependent to leave him. But he must be sorry because he sent me flowers today. I got flowers today. Today was a special day. It was the day of my funeral. Last night he killed me. If only I would have gathered the courage and the strength to leave him, I could have received help from the women's shelter, but I didn't ask for their help. So I got flowers today for the last time. Ladies, that poem is so important.
Like, it brought tears to my eyes.
Literally. I've read it before, and reading it again, it's so real.
It is.
So if you are getting those flowers, please reach out for help.
I'm sorry, no.
They're not okay. And we're going to leave you with that, and we're going to hope that if this has inspired somebody, like Jazz said, please like and share. Because if someone didn't watch this who does watch this and want to seek help, it might help them. And thank you for all of your comments. Thank you, Lee Bird, for sharing that. I'm so grateful.
Come with the real
yes,
girl.
I'm so grateful that you put that up there, because I didn't even think about that poem, but that is such a great poem, and it just brings it to a reality. So thank you for sharing that. And just share with others, please. And again, ladies, we thank you for this platform. We thank you for being here with us. We couldn't do this without you all. Next week we won't be on because we have some other obligations, but we will be posting when our next live session will be, and with the topic real soon. But thank you all, and we hope you have a very blessed week and an inspired week, and we love you all.